This is a meeting of the Parking Authority of Fairfield, with a special meeting being held Monday, April 28th at 8 p.m. in the second floor conference room at Sullivan Independence Hall, and also via conference call bridge. Okay, so do you want to start the meeting?
Yeah, just want to call the meeting to order.
Yeah.
Thanks, Eileen. The first item on the agenda is a review of the point of sale.
Yeah.
Status on
Actually, we have to, because the original agenda had the minutes of last meeting on it, but we have to push that to the following meeting because we can't vote on those minutes at this particular meeting, but we're just acknowledging that we're moving that to the next meeting.
Yep, good call. Great, thank you.
Okay, so I'm going to talk about the point of sale, which is a device that we've been talking about having in the at the Parking Authority office. Our vendor, we've been hoping for a while, would be able to integrate a point of sale, and they cannot. It's been too long. We're kind of tired of waiting. People that come in want to use a credit card.
Right.
It's especially when you're selling permits, which are, not, several $100s. People need that flexibility using a credit card, so this would give it. So I had sent out to you guys, and I actually have an update for you. I talked with them today, and so now I'm proposing I was proposing this one, the first one, but that, because that would give a receipt, but if we do the PC as well, we can print the more detailed receipt that people can use for their flexible spending and all of that, whereas this one just gives a paper receipt, and you can't turn the paper receipt off. So we'd be kind of just buying this paper rolls, and not very few people would want it. So what would be better is to use that middle one. There, you do need a little, kind of docking station, which would be another $39. So it'd be on
one time.
Yeah, one time, and that would be one time. So that'd be about $100 in addition to the laptop, which would go at the counter. This has been on the capital list. I updated the amounts, but we had it on there for $2,000. Fortunately, it's not going to be anywhere. It's not going to be anywhere near that. But there's a lot of benefit to using the point of sale at the counter, like I said. And what I like about the PC, as many other departments have them, you can kind of have a monitor that you can show the customers what we're doing. Right now, Mackenzie, Chris have to take the information, go back to their desk, and process it later. If somebody wants to see things, then they've got to go back, process print, come back to the counter, go back and forth. It's not really efficient. So if they're at the counter and they can do everything on the monitor right in front of the customer, it would be,
seamless.
Brings us up to date.
It's right. It'll be right on the counter outside.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
With a laptop?
It would not be a laptop. It would be a monitor and a keyboard on the counter, and then the CPU would be below. And that's pretty much what most of the departments have. So we talked with the electrician today too, and he said, yeah, it's not a problem at all too.
Can you just take me real quick, start to finish? and I've seen the square terminal on the left. I know when I'm buying my pizza or something. Right. I see now with coffee. But the one in the middle, is there any printout or messaging that, was it simply
It just takes the payment, and then we will print a receipt from the PC. We'll send it over to the printer.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, just to close that process. Again, you get that confirmation that it's been approved on these other two, as long as there's closing that loop. Perfect.
Yeah, I haven't taken training in it yet, but there is some way that there's no screen that says that, So that's up and down, I mean,
Which is fine, just that confirmation to
there's
the
something with
customer
the
that-
lights that it says
Yeah,
it goes,
right.
went through.
red, green.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, a couple questions. When would you anticipate that going into?
I would like to do by May 15th.
Good.
Because
For the
that's when
permit.
we start the
So
permit
just
portal.
acknowledging the elephant in the room, what happens come July 1st?
It would stay. I mean, all the other departments have,
And it's easily transportable to whatever.
yeah, I know
account
there's a couple departments that are using point of sale already. Mark Barnhart
Right.
uses it.
Similar one,
There's a couple.
similar.
They use Square. I don't know what their terminal is. The police use it, but they use a register. It looks like, kind of like that one on the far right.
Right.
But then it also has a cash drawer and all of that. We don't need all of that.
Yeah.
So there's a couple different departments using Square, and it's because the rates are good and,
Mm-hmm.
And do we pay an ongoing fee to use the technology?
no, you take, similar to what with Passport, they have a fee with 2.6% plus 15 cents per transaction. So they take that out of the check that they send you.
Mm-hmm.
and
Is it
then-
a check or could you do a direct
Or
deposit?
they will do it, they would want to do it direct deposit.
Yeah, okay, good.
And that's that we have with Passport, and what I do when I report it is I gross it up, and then I take out
The bank fees, yeah.
the fees, the merchandise processing fees.
It's a month, $59 a month.
No, that's a one-time purchase, and then you pay the 2.6 and the 15% of whatever, however many transactions you do, which obviously will have a lot
Yeah.
in
May, June.
May and June, possibly in September, August for the students.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's just gonna be people here and there that come in to pay tickets or whatever, but at least they'll have that,
Yeah, it's cleaner.
yeah,
I mean, it gets you into the 21st
It's
century.
contemporary,
Yeah.
for
Right.
sure.
right.
And this also reduces handling of checks, and so there's actually probably some additional cash controls, I would say.
Right,
So-
yeah, right, it's more secure that way, and that we don't canvass.
And we'll get you'll get some form of management reports too, is it?
Yes.
So,
Yeah,
okay.
So we're talking about an expenditure of $59?
plus the 39 for the little thing that sits, that will fit in, and that will be what's on the counter, and then people could just tap it, or they can slide their card in. So it'd be $100 altogether.
Anything else
Or whatever.
to get it just up and running?
No, they just said, let us know when you're ready, and,
Yeah.
Perfectly timed.
And I imagine that's not gonna stay, like, someone's gonna have to take it back in, like, when it closes.
yeah, I think what we do is we probably store it somewhere under, well, it's probably, but
Yeah.
we'll find a place to store it, yeah, at night.
There'd be no reason someone would steal that, right?
I don't think so, but we can put it in our cash box
No, I was
and
thinking if
lock
someone
it
did
up each night.
walk away with it, what are they gonna do? Charge them
Yeah,
a credit?
Yeah.
Credit card charge.
Yeah, it doesn't go back to us,
Right.
or if it does,
Yeah.
then we get the money, so they're out there.
Is it wireless?
No, it would have, a wire, so that's what the electrician we were talking to him about drilling like a little hole in the counter that would then, the PC would go through this device, and that would be pretty much it, keyboard, monitor.
Is there, a contract or no? It's,
No, they don't do contracts, it's just
yeah.
cancel anytime you want.
Okay.
So you buy it, if it doesn't get used, it doesn't get used.
Right, yeah, and there may be some months where we only have a couple people, but
Can
other
you use
months.
it for parking tickets?
You could use that for that too, yeah, you could use it for anything that somebody comes in and wants to use a credit card.
Got it.
Which to me is good, I mean, I don't carry cash. Most people are getting away from that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I think, I would say, I'm supportive, and I would just say if we're gonna do direct deposit, the only thing I'd be careful of is any debits that could happen on our account.
I know, and
Still in
we
there.
have direct deposit with a couple other vendors. So, and this one is kind of out there for everybody, so
Should we set up like a new?
I wanted to talk to, Caitlin as the controller,
Yeah.
to see what she thinks, but I know that there's other departments using it.
Right,
So if they're also getting that,
okay.
money's going directly in, and they've had it for
Okay,
a while.
no, this is great. You've been saying this for quite some time, and
Yeah,
we're always about the customer and the commuter, so this makes sense.
yeah, I mean, I had someone in the other day who had a lot of tickets to pay off, and they were buying a permit.
So what'd you do?
So altogether, well, fortunately, he had cash.
Probably keeps in the books.
But I mean,
No
there's a
booth,
lot.
all right.
Would have been, he asked, do you take credit card? And I'm like, I'm sorry, maybe in another couple weeks, but not today.
The only other question that I have is the 2%, is that, do we eat that cost, 2.6, is that?
So that's the thing, do we wanna mark up? What we do with the permits is we have a convenience fee that we charge.
Right.
So we would have that option at the counter to say, the permit is to charge that plus a convenience fee on it, and then let the music.
Well, what happens in Passport now? Like,
So Passport, when you go in and do it online, it includes a convenience fee.
got it.
So we'll have to do that because we'd have to be equal.
For people who want the convenience,
Yeah,
Right,
Okay.
because otherwise
your net.
you can't have it,
Well, we're
no
not-
fee
we're not-
here,
yeah.
and fees
We're
on.
facilitating
I
it.
don't know if we can vote on that part of it though tonight, because I'm just being conscious of our
Yeah,
agenda points.
Right.
That would have to be called out on the agenda. In my opinion, you guys could differ with me if you want. But I think that would probably be something that has to be on the agenda. We're gonna vote on fees and whatnot.
So you already approved the fees for the year, right? So that's fine, but you mean for the convenience
Yeah,
fee for
so-
this
right.
one item?
Yeah.
which we have time to do that, it's just assuming we get the technology, get it set up.
We can call a special meeting.
Right.
No problem.
Yeah.
But I think at this meeting, we should just, if we're gonna vote on
Yeah.
this,
Just
vote.
vote
I think we vote
on
on
whether or
point
not
of
we're
sale.
doing this.
Right.
Yep,
Okay, and I'll find out more info, I'll start an account with them, and I'll be able to get all that.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, request a motion to approve the purchase of the point of sale enabling technology, Square Reader technology for use by the parking authority.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Yay.
okay,
Anyone
Aye.
opposed? All right, purchase away, Eileen.
okay.
Got $98.
$98.
Okay, the next thing is the grant discussion.
Congrats on that, by the way.
So, yeah, we were awarded, we got the grant, $5,000
Wow,
toward bicycle racks.
that's great.
And I have 3 vendors that I sent you information on.
Mhm.
I'm really leaning toward Uline. They're probably the most well-known of all of them, and we've purchased other things from them. And they're somebody that's a company that's been around. What I will take, feel free to chime in, but I feel that, the one of them that comes off, the third one comes off because, the actual bar is not as wide, and I'm a little afraid that given it may be easier to bend it or
Okay,
something. So I want something that's really sturdy like we have on the Naughty Dolphin side.
yeah,
We have one, and it's been there for a long time, and it's really held up.
good.
So that's what kind of I'd like to get. And we have,
So it's gonna go on the southbound side?
we would go on the
Northbound.
northbound and the southbound side in
Good.
Fairfield, because in Fairfield, if you're on the New Yorkbound side, you'll see there's a lot of bicycles.
Yeah.
And then
So
on
they park them on the fence, they do.
right, and then on the northbound side, the eastbound side, there are a lot of bikes down by that seating area.
Yeah.
And I wanna clean that all up and just put these in.
Good.
Get rid of the others. If they're good, we can, whether we give them to the town or whatever, we put them in storage for a later date. But, a lot of them are really thin, and they get dragged around, and they also rust out. Then Southport, we have 2 bike racks. One gets used more often, but there's 2 on the New York bound side, and there's 1 on the New Haven bound side.
Mm-hmm.
So
How does this work? We have to buy it first, then we get reimbursed, or is it?
So I have to send a report, but it sounds like they're gonna send us the money within the next couple weeks.
Got it. And then.
And so I'm just gonna keep, letting him know, okay, this is what we're gonna be buying, and that I have to talk with Public Works to see when they can install them.
Okay.
Because I wanna do in-ground mounts, so that they're really solidly in there. So, looking at the info, I mean, these 2 are pretty much the same and, heavyweight, heavy duty. But this one is a bit less. If you buy more than 3, they're $495. So you save a little money.
I see that. Eileen, do you know how many bikes we have capacity for now, roughly, just with the bike racks through there? And then
Well,
will we be expanding that, net, keep it the same, do you know?
I'm trying to keep it the same.
Yeah.
They don't all get used.
Right.
There is 1 extra one that's way down in Fairfield on the New York side, way down. I don't even know how, because they just dragged it down there. So that one.
But that's not gonna happen, actually, we're gonna anchor them to the ground.
That's right.
And then they'll go underneath the overpass on the New York side?
So, no, they will, there's, right before the bike lockers,
Mhm.
there's a
Yeah.
rack.
Right.
So one will go there.
Yeah.
And and then there's 2 there, actually. There's 1, and then there's another one. So I would replace those 2. Then a little further down the tracks, right after the platform.
Right.
There's an area where there's 2 racks, so I'd put 2, if I could, 2 there. Then on the eastbound side, I would probably put at least 1 more. If we could get 2, I'll do 2. Then Southport, it would do 2 and 1. So 3 at Southport, and potentially, or 3 to 4 at Southport, and 6 in Fairfield.
So that would be on the 5,000, yeah.
So that would be 49, so that'd be $49.50, plus shipping is $180.
Okay.
And then it can include installation, so, but if Public Works can do it, which I'm sure they can,
Okay.
I'm guessing they probably put in the last ones, the other ones that are there, then that would be no cost.
And the grant's for $5,000?
Yeah. So we'd spend the whole thing plus with shipping, we'd go 100 over.
This is only 180 for one or for all 6, all 10?
For all, that's
All 10.
that's the
Okay.
way it worked out.
They look
I wanna
pretty
check
heavy.
it.
I mean, I'm just,
I know, I thought it would be more, so that's why I wanna call them and check it.
yeah, okay.
It can't be 180.
How are we gonna know if DPW will do it?
So I'm gonna call, once I knew if you approve these, I would call, them tomorrow.
And do we have any idea how much installation is if they can't, or?
I don't know, because these companies don't talk about installation.
Oh.
So
You'd have to go in
I'd have to
outside.
probably call them and see if, but they're not necessarily anywhere around here. So we'd have to get somebody to do that. I'm sure they can do it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of, their schedule.
Right, but I'm just conscious of the like, if we got a $5,000 grant, we gotta come in at or under $5,000 total, to me.
Right, but the grant won't cover installation.
Oh, it doesn't.
That's what was one of the conditions. It cannot include installation.
Got it. Okay. So that makes sense.
Tax. Tax.
No tax.
Does it cover tax, or there is no tax
We
on
have
the
no
purchase?
tax.
Okay, good, all right. So it's just the 10, if it's $495, then you get 10 of them, and,
Yeah.
and there's no problem dispersing them amongst the way that you talked about, between the two.
I don't think so.
Okay.
And who has to approve where they go? Like, if they're getting permanently mounted,
Yeah, I know.
then,
Is there a permit we gotta get?
Well, I was gonna call the state and tell them, we have this grant, this is what we talked about at the board meeting.
right, so where this
is
gets
what we wanna
complicated
do.
is if it's going on town property.
No, they're all on state.
Cause it's right by
It is on state property?
Right by the station house, okay.
Okay,
It's all state.
so then I imagine they have to approve that it gets permanently affixed to the ground.
Well, you could always take it out.
Well, I guess you could, but I don't think that's the way we should be assuming things.
No. No, I would,
I just think for
I
right
would
now,
call
it's gotta
them
be
tomorrow, once I knew that you guys were good with it, I was gonna call them tomorrow
Okay.
and
Alright.
just say, here's what we're thinking of doing, here's what we're gonna do, we got a grant for it, here's where we wanna put it, do you have any objections?
Right, okay, so we don't really need to vote on anything.
No, probably not, I mean, unless you wanted to vote on which vendor you want, you can do that if you wanna vote,
What about
That's-
the installation stuff? Like, if we can't get it done through the town in-kind services, I guess.
right?
I don't think there's anything to vote on tonight then.
Yeah, I don't think so
I
either.
think-
But you still need to discuss with the state,
Yeah.
and then come back to
Public
us.
Works.
Okay, yeah.
And just when you send that, when you chat with the state, just shoot them a note, just confirming what you guys agreed to, that it's okay to have it located on that.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's one of our first grants in a while.
No, we haven't, I
We haven't had it.
look often,
That's good.
and there just haven't really
Perfect
been
use for
much
it, yeah.
out there.
Yeah.
Um,
And those bike racks, some of them,
Yeah, I've seen better days. Sometimes there's some locks still on them.
yeah, right.
Like the Warhol Bridge in Pittsburgh. That's great job.
All right, so the next thing
Yeah,
is
fire
the
protection.
fire protection.
Correct you. She
Um,
did.
yeah, so
We bored her to death.
$49 purchase. Whoa, this is
Exciting stuff.
I can.
I think she was in the wrong meeting. That's what I thought.
We're going to let Ann to respond to that.
Yeah, I think she wanted to be
Okay.
elsewhere. Oh, I thought I printed, more of these. Did I not?
It's okay, we could share.
You can certainly have mine. Oh, here they are. Okay, so this one has them. And Mike, you need a batch.
It's okay, I read it today.
Do you want a batch?
And I'll take the top out.
Okay,
One last,
all right.
30 seconds I have. I'm
Okay,
kind of curious as to how these quotes go from 39 to 89, like 29 to 89, or 87, whatever. That's a swing. if I'm right? Am I?
There, yeah.
And is it all for the same?
Well, like you can see, most of them are the same. Let me pull it up on my PC.
Johnson Controls less equipment
Most
for more.
of them are,
So I think Johnson Controls is out since they
Yeah.
don't quote anything.
It's like,
you wanna use their letter, okay?
Letter A is out.
Oh, sorry.
So, yeah,
jeez.
Siemens, oh shoot. Alright, so let me start over.
C.
So, yeah, you can see that most of them, they're pretty similar. Some have CO detectors, some don't, but they can add them easily. The last one on the page, on your comparison page, they said that they can put in, they can add ones that have fire, smoke, CO. They can do it either, whichever way. And some of them are in there, but it just was hard to identify. The first one on the page, they said if you want the CO added, then to do a fire, smoke plus CO, it would be $100 more a unit for however many units you wanted. Like you wouldn't need a CO on every single unit. You would just need
So,
one or two.
This is for the main
before we get
stations,
deep into each one of these, I just have some obvious questions. Again, what's the timing?
Well, given that I think the sooner the better
Yeah.
on this.
No, I know that, but
But-
realistically, what's the timing to
Because
get
their contract,
So this would, whoever we select, we would then send their information to the state fire marshal, who would look at, and then they had to provide a drawing. They would look at that and make comment on whether it looks good to go, or can you add this or that.
right,
Then the company would start, and then as soon as they're done, we call the fire marshal, they come down, they do the inspection and all of that. And so,
probably
I'm
too
gonna,
much.
I don't know how long it will take them to put the stuff in, any of them, but I would imagine it would be at least 2 weeks.
2 weeks from today to get
No.
this done?
No, at least 2 weeks
Once
to
you
install,
start.
once
Oh,
they
okay.
start.
Right, and this, just to be clear, this is for the Fairfield
Yeah.
station,
The two of them,
both station houses in Fairfield,
yep,
downtown Fairfield.
yep.
So both sides.
The freight station was upgraded,
And
and
there's,
the Southport station was upgraded, and Pachi's is
there's
upgraded.
no fire protection in these two station houses as of today, correct? None,
Witness the top
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is a commuter safety issue.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so obviously that's important to be done
Right away, yeah.
as soon as possible. There's certain things to me that are, hurdles, right? We can vote for whoever we want, we can vote to approve it, but realistically, this doesn't seem like it's achievable by July 1st. All things considered.
Yeah,
Okay?
right.
So that has to be a
But
topic of
the
conversation.
state, I talked to them, and they said that, if you guys approved it
Mm-hmm.
and got the thing going, they'd try and help, push it
Makes
through a little
sense,
faster.
yeah.
And they would always pick it up if they had to, as far as scheduling because they have to schedule
No, of course, I understand
some of
that.
the stuff, and
But-
they would see it through.
Ultimately, there's a contract that is gonna have to be
Yeah,
signed,
that's fine.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
And that contract
Let's go through legal.
has to go through the town attorney,
Yeah.
Right,
okay? So I'm not making any assumptions or accusations, but that's gonna hold up this process.
Yep.
So knowing what we know about July 1st as the date that this all turns over, I think we need to be realistic and understand that we could vote this in and vote for the approval of the money, but it's ultimately gonna be out of our hands, really, what happens with this moving forward. I just want that to be on the record, that we can approve the money, we can approve the vendor, but ultimately, this is going to be in the town's hands in conjunction with the state, if I understand this correctly, to have this installed.
I mean, it probably would be better that way than having one of you sign it. I just don't wanna, I guess we'll have to talk to them and say, listen, we can't hold this up. So.
No, I just want to, I'm not.
Please advise us.
I just want it to be clear and on the record that what we're voting in is for the financial side of this, but ultimately, it's really out of our hands to see this through.
Right.
And it will be within the town's hands to see this through in conjunction with the state. I just want to make sure that we're all clear.
I agree with that, yeah. We could get it started.
Correct.
If we give the contract to the town attorney, let him know we need to start this right away.
And it's up to them.
He can advise us on how to do that. And then I would take over and get it to the state, get whatever drawings they want, and get the thing rolling. But yes, it's always a chance, because the state could take a while to do these, to review it. They've been pretty good in terms of coming down for inspections, but you never know. They could be caught up with other stuff, so it could potentially not complete until after July. I would hope not, but it could because you're right, it's May already.
Yeah. Who gave you the list of the vendors? Was that?
The state gave me a long list, and I called all of them.
Got it.
And these are the ones that, so they gave me all of those.
Got it.
All of that.
Wow.
They were all state vetted. And I talked with all of them. Some of them were, just too far.
Yeah.
They don't service this area. Some, whichever, but, 9 of them. So I talked with nine of them. These were the ones that were interested and were put in the bid.
What, does the town fire, do they ever get involved in this?
No, because it's not their jurisdiction.
Yeah.
I mean, I could certainly always ask them a question, and they're very good, nice people, very helpful, but they don't have jurisdiction on state buildings, so they they don't get involved, just like building department doesn't get involved, zoning, all of them, because it's state.
Yeah.
Eileen, on this grid, why does the equipment vary so widely? So, looking at horns and strobes, one's got 10 and 9, one's got, and versus 4 and 3, 7 and 6, and even the smoke detectors, which is, to me, the most surprising, 6 and 6, 9 and 7, 6 and 4.
Yeah, these guys here said that it's actually in here.
Letter B.
It's coded in such a way that I had no idea what was what,
But is their technology different, better, not as good?
I don't know. I think they're probably all using the latest, that's approved, and they all work with the state, so they know what they have to provide.
Ultimately, the state's going to approve the equipment, everything.
Right.
So we're just really approving
The expenditure. Yeah.
Right.
And the fact that we want to move forward on this.
Right.
Take a motion to approve the expenditures.
Well, I think you need to make a motion to, which vendor you want to select. I thought these guys were good here, the first,
C,
that one, this one, and these guys were pretty good, but,
so C and
yeah, so I would say C, what is this,
D.
B,
D is dog.
B, and this one, A. But their price,
But it seems like with D, this integrated, the D, letter D, you get the most equipment for the least amount of money.
Which is which, I don't know.
So D is the second one on the list,
Oh, the one.
C is the first one on the list, C, D, D. B is in D.
I should have put an A, B, C, D,
Wow, it's hard to, I don't even know how to differentiate.
I mean, I do. This is the one.
A lot of equipment, equipment is the lowest amount of money.
You get
The most amount of equipment.
The least expensive monitoring, the most equipment, seems very comprehensive across.
They were very, I thought they were good, they came back.
Okay,
How do you not have pull stations?
I know.
Those are the red boxes when you have an exam in high school and you don't want to.
Right,
Not that it's that crazy.
I mean,
But again, thoroughness.
Yeah, I know, I see what you're saying, Greg.
heat detectors,
Right.
because that's pre-fire.
Yeah.
This is a fire or smoke.
And then the CO, they actually give the CO too. The CO detector, I didn't mean CO2, but,
You're right.
CO also.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
I mean,
No, I agree.
From a,
if you're just looking based on equipment and costs,
And then the intangibles that you said about when they were on site.
how does that hook into the town fire department? Is it all through the,
so it gets
Wi-Fi?
monitored, and some of them included a monitoring fee, but when they were out there, they asked me, and I said that we had a monitoring service that the town uses, that we
Right.
probably would go in, because that's what we have
Yeah.
Southport on, and, the freight station's on a different one because they're in a different area and so on.
mm-hmm,
But we would use the same thing as the same company we use, Southport.
okay.
And so that would be,
Yeah, if we're gonna go, yeah, I mean, I think, to your point, most amount of equipment, cheapest price.
yeah, I mean, they all have worked
I mean, we
with
have
the state, so
nothing.
they know what they have to provide now.
And the local, right?
It was
Yeah.
hard to tell if all of them included the cost of drawings. Sometimes they spelled it out, sometimes they didn't. So that's always a potential couple $100 addition.
so I think we should vote on that vendor for the money plus a 20% contingency,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm,
and let it see where it goes.
yeah,
okay.
But we've done our part at that point.
yeah.
So that
We made a recommendation to.
letter
the
D, was that it?
Yeah.
town. Yeah,
So D plus
ITS.
20%. Mhm.
So, you want to motion that?
Mhm. And just say it's D.
Okay, so I'm making a motion to approve the fire protection system for Fairfield, vendor D, for their quoted dollar amount plus 20% contingency.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain? Okay, Mr. Robert will be very happy.
You wrote a hell of a rule book.
There he is.
Okay, so the last thing is the capital project. I sent you an updated list, I'll update it again with this. So, I guess we should just talk about that. I've updated with, for the most part, with everything that we've been doing, and the only thing that's missing is, we've been talking about kind of giving some money, reserving some money for the state for some projects, which we've done before. We partner with them and so on. So that has not been identified. If you look at the capital projects thing, do any of you have it?
I'm looking at my phone here.
It's, if you go down toward, I think it's on the second page, I put in what the total amount was. Now, there's still a lot of TBDs in there because we haven't gone out for bid or RFP for them. And then I have the shortfall for what we have in the account. And so that's...
And what was the shortfall, was 3 and change?
No, it was 4 something. I'm opening it up. Let me just find it. Okay. So if I go down...
Yeah, no, I remember. And that includes the paving of Southport, right?
Yes. Which we put 250 in there. Once upon a time it was 140, 150, but it's definitely gone up because that was a while ago we were looking at it. And we were...
Oil has gone down, so...
So all of our projects together equaled 965, and
But on there's the fire one, right?
right.
Yeah.
What we budgeted for it, which was 50,000, so we'd have a little play. And then the balance in the STIF on March 31st was 530. So if I take that 965,
Right.
and we have 415 that's already earmarked, I take that and subtract out the STIF account, I get that we have a shortfall.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And that includes the, whatever's on here, which, I mean, most of the things as we identify, you move the money. If it hasn't already been moved as part of the surplus, then we move that additional money. But the one thing that we hadn't done yet was, the platform overhangs.
Yeah.
And so I talked with the state about it and said, what are those costs? And they said, it's a lot. We don't know, and they said, I couldn't give you the exact number because depends on how many, the platform length and how many cars fit on the platform and so on. So, we talked about, 500,000. Would that be a decent amount to reserve for the state? And they said that would be great, and that can hopefully push up that project. And then they said, we want, to partner because it helps us move things along quicker, otherwise they take a long time.
Yeah.
So the shortfall includes that number?
Includes the 500, right? That's what's in that 965. That's everything that's been identified. Because there are some things on there that we talked about, but we haven't gotten to the point of going out and getting priced.
So my 2 cents is that I initially wanted, I think you guys know, to motion to move that money from one account to the other today. But I think we should just go on record saying that our intention at the next meeting, and we'll agenda it, that we're gonna move the shortfall to cover all the capital expenditures to the STIF account at our next scheduled meeting.
Yeah.
That's what my thought is.
Okay.
Unless you guys wanna vote on it tonight, then we'll vote on it tonight. I think it's better if we just state that that's our intention tonight, and then vote on it.
Yeah, because maybe then we can
Put it
tighten
on
up
the,
some of the prices.
put it on the agenda.
I'm sorry?
We can tighten up maybe some of the prices too, if there's
Well, it's just,
it's an estimate.
well, we're just moving the money to cover the expenditures.
Yeah, okay.
We're not going through the bidding process at this point.
Yeah.
So that's my 2 cents on the issue
Right,
of moving money to the STIF account
yeah.
to
And
cover the
then-
expenditures.
You're right, if we start to move forward on the Southport lot, and if we know that, oh, wow, it comes in 50 under, then we have that much money. But if it comes in 50 over, then.
Well, I mean, it's unrealistic to think that
Between now.
we're gonna do any of those things in the next 2 months.
No,
I
but we
just think
could
it's important to
start
have the money in the account to cover those expenditures, so whatever happens
So that
after
the
July
town can
first,
do them, yeah.
the money is there to take care of those capital projects
Right.
that we've identified.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
we should post a list of these capital projects online and make sure that it's part of,
Transparent.
yeah, the minutes and everything that we post online, what our capital projects are, with the, as you've written it out.
Okay,
And then that should be in the next meeting agenda minutes, meeting agenda.
okay. All right, so the intention
Okay, where's Jude?
to move. Additional money to the STIF for state projects, state partnered projects. Yeah, there's some other, items that we have in there, like the lampposts that need to get done, benches,
And the railings are in there too, right?
Sidewalk.
The ones that you,
I'm sorry?
the railings that you talked about getting replaced? Are they-
We don't have that in here yet. It's on the list, but actually it's not on the list. So that could be something that we add, but it would be a TBD as well, because that would be something we'd have to partner with the state on. And, they have to get the vendor and
Yeah.
tell us. So what they would do, and then they would say, could you contribute to any of this? And that's what we put, have a reserve in there and have to communicate that to them. But I won't do that until and unless you guys vote on that. Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting?
Second.
All right, and let me find that. All right, so that was you, Mike.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone abstain?
The ghost abstentions.
Ending.
Anyone object?